So I recorded this video in slow motion, which really sucks because I can speed it up, which is great, but there's no sound included. So I'm gonna have to do a voiceover for this video, which I hate doing voice videos and voiceovers. So bear with it. I actually recorded 2 videos like this on the same day. Stupid me. This is from my friends at Tes Studios. This is the stalks for the Model S and Model X, and it's needed for this car. Unfortunately, Tesla did put the buttons on the steering wheel, but you know, it's sometimes nice to have the levers, and we're going to put it in the car right now. And I'm clicking my fingers, but nothing's happening. Oh, there we go. We're in the car. I already took the yoke off, and if you haven't figured out how to take the yoke off, you probably should not do this yourself. Or you can contact me if you're in the Charlotte area, and I can put this in for you. It's not very difficult to do, but there's certain things you don't want to do as far as that centerpiece. You don't want to turn that clear plastic on the wheel. So I do tape this up eventually. And I put the car in service mode just so the doors don't close and the air conditioning turns off so it doesn't make noise for the video. These stalks are amazing. My wife has been driving it for the last couple days, and the first day she forgot about them because you don't see them behind the wheel. They're almost invisible. But the second day, her turn signal, the left turn signal got stuck. So she was able to move and use the stalk like normal. So it's good having options, and this is a pretty easy install. Again, in the video, I do say that I can install it for you if you're interested in the Charlotte area, but this is for an S or an X. And I do have one available for a Highland Model 3, which I don't have a Highland Model 3 yet, but I am wrapping one soon. A performance one's coming in, and I'm gonna ask him if he wants it on his car. But that's a whole different process. This one is a lot easier. I think you'll like it if you have an S or an X, because it's always nice to have some options. You know, a lot of people are just gung-ho. Whatever Tesla does is what it should be. But some people like options. So that's what this is. There's the tape on there, and I'm just gonna lift up and push this plastic piece off, and then it is attached with the soft material there, allowing it to go up and down and keep the dust out. You just pull that apart. And you just get that out of the way. And I think I just wedged it up there. The bottom half pull down, but you have to take those screws off right there. I forget what Torx bit it is, but you just unscrew those and pull that straight down. There's a little clip at the very bottom, but look at this. This just slides right in. These are the same turn signals and stalks from the Model 3 and the Model Y. And this column must be the same one because they just slide right in. There's actually grooves there for this. The cables are not there, but there's grooves for this to go into. And you do screw them into place, but it's amazing how they omitted them by just putting the buttons on the steering wheel. And some of the buttons are great. Just the turn signals really suck, and the wipers are on the driver's side, which it's nice to have it on a stock. And sometimes the car doesn't always get correct forward and reverse. So it's nice to not touch the screen, get your fingerprints on the screen, and be able to move it back and forth. Especially if you go from a 3 or a Y to an S and an X, sometimes you realize your muscle memory is like, what do I do? So right behind here, you just yank this, and there is a blue plug back here, right there. And I have a different device hooked up to it, the sexy buttons. I'm going to have to disconnect that. And the wiring for these turn signals or the stalks plugs right into that. And then you just take a wire fish and loop it right around up into the steering column and plug them in. It really is that's pretty much the hardest part. And you see the wire fish right there. I just taped them up there. There's plenty of room. It's not hard to fish them through. And you go on top of the steering column and just plug in. And they work right away. You don't have to restart anything. You don't have to do anything special. You just plug it in. And I ended up pulling out the stalks to plug them in, and then I slid them back into place. And then you just put the caps back on, or put everything back together the way it was. And you see this working now. You just push down just like a Model 3 and a Model Y, and you go into gear. Park you had to hold down a little bit, but the turn signals work perfectly. They're really nice. The wipers, you push the button, they work. The spray works as well. It's just a perfect setup. And the cool thing is they don't stick up like ears. I thought they were going to stick up like Shrek ears. They just look really good. I like them. I mean, right now it looks weird, but once you put the yoke on, look at this. You don't even see them. It's perfect for them. So I think this is a great addition to the S or the X, and I think everyone should have this. It's amazing. It's amazing to have these right there all the time. You just push down on the stock when you need it, or you for the turn signal. It's amazing because the turn signals are not great. And I'm gonna get my wife's opinion because she's gonna be driving this for the week and see what she thinks of them as she's been using them for the last couple days, and see how much more convenient they are in the Model X. Now here I tried an old round steering wheel to see if there was a difference, and there was not a difference at all. This is a carbon fiber wheel I had from my Model S, and I might actually go to this thing for a little while, see if my wife likes the round wheel. It does sit up high when you're used to the yoke. I'm not sure if she's going to like that at all, but it is nice seeing the screen. This is the new Cyber wheel that I have in my Model Y. I have another one here. And it kind of cuts off the screen a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't thinking about that. So it really doesn't give much space. I think I could probably lower the steering wheel. And I think I try here, but I realized that the steering wheel controls aren't hooked up, so it's not going to work. But I think having it lower might actually sit pretty nice because I do like being able to grab the top of a yoke or a steering wheel. That's what I do miss about the yoke. I can't actually grab the top of it in a parking lot, and you do miss it a little bit. Right there is where I was trying to be an idiot and try to move the steering wheel even though nothing's connected to it. So we're going to have to go back to the yoke, and she's going to be driving it like that for this week and see her reaction to the new stalks, see how useful they actually are. It's the same stalks as the Model 3 Model Y, so yes, it does look perfect in there. That button back there is for the sexy buttons, so it doesn't do anything with this. But yeah, I love the function of this. Yes, I'm holding the camera, so it's one-handed, but being able to have those right there at the fingertips when your hands are already on the wheel. Yes, in autopilot, you're not going to use them, but you do have to hit the turn signals. Autopilot, I guess full self-driving would do the turn signals, but autopilot doesn't always. And it's just a great addition, like I said, to any Model X or Model S. Now, I do have another video where I forgot to take it out of slow motion mode, and so I will be doing another voiceover, not this week or anything. I installed a bunch of parts because I'm going to be starting to install parts for people, and because I know a lot of people ask questions, where can I get this installed? And something like this is not very difficult, so it doesn't take much time, and again, hit me up if you're interested. My email's down below, and I'm just north of Charlotte. You can bring it to me, and we can put it in your car.